This tutorial is about how to detect whether two objects that have been instantiated collide with each other. And you should really understand what an object is and what a class is before you start doing this. So I'm just going to review the code a little bit here before we get started. So we have in our world class, we are instantiating two classes. One is the star class and one is a rocket class, and we're placing them on the world, on the stage of the world at specific spots. So the star is being placed at 400. So remember, 0 is up here, and it's being placed on 400 at the x axis. And so we have in Greenfoot and in all kind of Java applications, really, the y-axis has a positive direction going downwards. So if we're at 400, 200, that's really where we end up. And the rocket is being placed at the 0 of the x-axis and at 200 in the y-axis. So, in Java, negative y is upwards. It's not quite like math in the math world, but you just have to remember that. So anyway, so now here we have this, and if we run this now, what's going to happen is that the rocket is going to move one step. And I have this code from a previous tutorial that we looked at where you use the keyboard in order to control the direction in which the rocket is moving. And if you press the left key, the rocket turns in at a negative angle, i.e. in this direction. And if the right key is pressed, the rocket turns in this direction, i.e. in a positive angle, right? So if we run this now, you can see I press up and I can control, and I'm going to just pause that rocket right there. And now what I want to do is I want to add the code that's going to check whether the rocket is colliding with a star. And what I want to do is I really want to do this in the star class, right? So it's constantly going to check, oh, is there a rocket that's colliding with me? And if there is a rocket that's colliding with a star, then the star is going to call the world. It's going to actually, or rather, it's going to get the world for which it to which it belongs, or in which it was instantiated, to which it was added, and then it's going to call that world, and from that world it's going to remove the rocket. So let's look at how that how that can be done. Now that might sound a little bit more complicated than it really is. So let's look at the rocket. Let's look at the star code. So let's go into the star code, and you can see there's no code in here yet. So in here we're gonna write the following lines, which is, hold on one second, and we indent it properly, and we are going to do the following. We're gonna say rocket, because this is the class that we want to test against, rocket A. Well, actually, let's do it a little more simple in this case. Let's just say that we're going to test against some kind of actor, and we're going to say actor A equals to this, and that refers, of course, to the star class itself, or the object that was instantiated from the star class. So we write this dot, and then we're gonna get one intersecting object. It's quite a long name for a method, but there it is. That's part of the Greenfoot library, and it really explains itself, which is that get one intersecting object means that it will get one of the objects that's touching the star in some way. And we have to pass an argument to this method, which is we have to say what it is that we're going to check against, which class is it that we're going to really be looking for, whether it's intersecting. And in this case, it is the rocket class, and we do dot, and we really want to refer to the class itself, so rocket dot class is what we do. And then once we've done that, we can now do an if statement, and remember we have to define a body for the if statement. So I'm just off the bat, I'm just going to write open curly bracket, close curly bracket, and whatever condition is fulfilled here in the if statement, if that is fulfilled, then this body is going to get executed. So I'm going to say if A is, and this is the comparison operator, two equal signs, if A is null, then I'm going to do something special, right? But it's not really null that we're interested in. Null means that if there was no intersecting object, well, then the value of A is going to be null, right? And if there is an intersecting object, well, then it won't be null. Null really means there's nothing in there. There is no object. There's no object. There's no value. A has not been assigned some value. It has the null value. You should really look that up and learn about the null values. Very important. But I'm not really interested in when A is null. I'm interested when it's not null. And this is what you're going to write. The exclamation mark equals means not. If A not equals to null, well, then I'm going to do something. And when it's not equal to null, I'm going to go this dot get world, which gets the world to which, in this case, my star object belongs to. And I'm just going to, once I've gotten that, I can call the methods of the world that the star object belongs to. And I'm going to do remove object. And once I do that, I do remove object. I have to pass an argument into there. Well, what is it that I want to remove? Well, I want to remove the object that is intersecting with the star, and in this case it's A. So I do that, and then I'm going to compile that, and once I do that, I'm going to compile it, and there we go, and there is the compile code. And hopefully, let's test it, let's see what's going to happen. So I run that now, and I can press the keys, and I can redirect my spaceship slightly, right? And let's just see what happens when they intersect. And now there they go, and ooh, it disappeared right there. You see, that's exactly what I wanted it to do. And now when I run my code, I can, of course, I can redirect my spaceship to make sure it doesn't actually ever touch the star. And if it doesn't, well, then it hopefully is not going to get destroyed, and I'm going to get past the star, right? And right there it is, right? So let me pause that again, and let me just once more show you how it's going to get destroyed. So I'm going up and down, and suddenly, oh, here it's going to go. Oh no, I'm crashing into the star, and there it's destroyed. And that's how you really test whether two objects collide in Greenfoot, and then use the get world method, which gets the world to which the object that is testing for whether it's colliding with another thing. And then you can do that. And once you get the world, well, then you can call whatever methods you have for the world class. And in this case, it's not to instantiate an object, but or to add an object to the world, but it's the reverse, is to remove the actual object. And the A here is, of course, a reference to the 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 object that this method got, which was get one intersecting object that is of the rocket class, right? And if it's not null, well, then the object gets removed. And if it is null, well, that means that there was no intersecting object. So try it out yourself. Have fun.